Right guys, welcome to this series of exam practice videos. All the videos in this playlist are going to be past paper questions on schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a paper 3 topic, so in reality a lot of the questions in the playlist are going to be essays, but I will also include the odd short answer question because they do appear in the exam as well. Now, I've said this before, I'm a big fan of exam practice as part of the revision process, and the whole point of this playlist is to give people the chance to sit and actually get some practice completing practice questions at random, whether those are 2 markers or whether those are 16 markers. That being the case, the majority of the questions on the playlist will be ones that have come up on papers in the past. However, I will also include the odd original question if I think it'd be useful to be able to answer. Each question will have a little title page, which will tell you what question in the playlist you're on, and it will also briefly tell you what the topic is and how many marks the question's worth. The paper that the question came from is also on the front sheet right at the bottom, so that you can find the original source of the question if you want to, and you'll know if it's an original question at the time of recording because there won't be a paper referenced on the front sheet. Pause the video before I put up the answer to the questions and have a go at answering them for yourself. And of course, before we get started, if you find this video or any of the videos in the series useful and you want to see some more exam content, please let me know by hitting the like button. Okay, so let's get started with question 1. This is going to include two markers, both from the same paper, both coming directly after one another in that paper. Okay, now don't downplay the importance of the 2 marker. Getting the full marks can be quite tricky because you have less wiggle room to waffle. Okay, you've got to get the right detail the first time round, whilst also making sure that your answer is nice and concise. So go ahead and pause the video and you can have a go yourself. Here's my answer. Now, obviously, you could have used any other negative symptom like speech poverty, which would also have been fine. Whichever symptom you choose is irrelevant. You just have to make sure that you're capturing what that symptom is clearly and concisely. Okay? So, moving on to the second question in this video is again another 2 marker, but this time it's on symptom overlap. Now, the trick here is that it's not just about what symptom overlap is, but rather why it poses a problem for the diagnosis of schizophrenia. Okay, now this was a tricky question at the time. This is what the examiner's report said. Okay, so some responses were unnecessarily long. Quite a few students could say what the problem might be, so things like misdiagnosis, but a lot of them failed to adequately explain the role of symptom overlap within that. Okay, so please keep that in mind when you write the answer. So here's mine. In keeping with the examiner's advice, I started with a quick definition, and then I went on to explain the problem that it produces. Okay? So, I hope that all makes sense. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in question 2.